Hello, this is Joe Peters from MomFit with Joe Peters. Welcome to the Spanglish Network, World Network, and H.E.R Network Single TV channels 250 and 1. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective iOS and Android devices. While you are downloaded, make sure that you rate and leave a comment. The app is free. Single TV is also available on Google Chromecast. It's Friday. Amazon Fire, Fire TV, Roku, and Roku Stick in all the smart TVs since 2016. Welcome to another MomFit episode. Today, I am very happy to have this conversation with somebody that I consider an inspiration, a mentor, a friend, and almost a sister. And that is Georgia Vanderville. Georgia is the owner of a seven-figure business making candles from Nevada, Reno, Nevada, and those candles are part of what lights the life of people around the country. And as if she didn't have her hands full with her business with her husband, she also have two beautiful kids. She is also working on inspiring people with meditation, and I am so happy to have her here because we are going to be talking about what meditation is and what meditation is not, and how each of you mamas can start developing that habit and tap into the magic of meditation, like George is going to explain us, to actually get your zen no matter what is crazy around you. So, Georgia, welcome. Very nice to having
Thank
you.
you.
How are you today?
I'm so happy to be here. I'm absolutely fantastic. Had a wonderful meditation this morning.
Good, good. Why we don't just start with your own story on how do you find meditation and how you're finding that meditation is being helping you to be a better mom, to be a better spouse, to be a better woman.
Wow. All right. Well, the origin story. Let's see. It actually started, you know how so many things in our life, so many wonderful, wonderful things in our lives start because of something hard and something tough. And I actually had, back in 2014, I had an episode of, I actually, yeah, I had an episode, um, and I ended up, the result of this, it was a medical issue. The result of it was that I ended up losing about 95% of my memories. So I remembered that I had a child, and I remembered um, that I was a human, but I didn't remember things like birthdays. I didn't remember where things were in my kitchen or how to get out of my own neighborhood, how to drive a car. I just, I couldn't remember anything. And after going to the medical profession and or to the medical field and trying to figure out what was going on and try and figure out how to um, how to bring all of this together and how to fix what was going on, I ended up one day just sitting down, and I had actually seen a little ad on, I think, Facebook or YouTube somewhere. And I just clicked on it. It said, let's meditate or something like that. And I clicked on it and I sat down on my couch. And it was one of the very first times that, as a mom, as a businesswoman, as just me in my adult life, that I actually took 20 minutes for me. I actually just sat there. And now meditation doesn't need to take 20 minutes, but this happened to be this 20-minute time block that I took for myself. And after it, I was blown away. I was shocked that I could experience peace and calm inside of my head and inside of my life. And it created this beautiful experience as I carried on through the day. It was so almost addictive. I had to have this experience of this day because I had set my day up through this 20-minute time period. And I actually did this exact same, because it's a guided meditation. So there's different kinds of meditations, right? You have like one where you just sit there and your goal is to quiet your mind. But I was doing a guided meditation. And this particular guided meditation, I did almost every single day for 3 years, the exact same one. I found one, it worked, and I just kept going. And it, it was so essential and so needed that then I started to branch out and I started to figure out other meditations, learn meditations. And at this point, when I started, my children were 2 and 3. And was every day perfect after I found meditation? No. But I started to learn and I started to grow. And I would not be here where I am today or have the relationship with my children that I do today if I hadn't have started that a long time ago. And you're going to see results from meditating right away, actually, to be honest. But it's like everything, it takes time. But it's such a peaceful thing that can happen inside of you that it just touches my heart to even think about it.
Thank you so much. You said so many amazing things there. And one of the things why I want to have this conversation with you is because being and Yvonne that is watching us live is saying self-care is 100% true. And actually I was this week talking with a client and we are talking about changing the part of thinking about self-care as selfish and then say self-care is self-full, is allowing yourself to be full before you keep pouring out. So Yvonne, thank you for that. But one of the things that I would love to keep working with you and is first that you explain us a little bit on how meditation help you with the relationship with your kids, how meditation is giving you tools to handle things maybe different, or and then very traumatic, your experience was very traumatic. I cannot imagine saying waking up and saying I don't remember 90% of my life, and how, and then even when all the mamas will not go through that, we during pregnancy, during birth, and the fourth trimester, the reality is, and that is why I work with mamas to help them to have a wonderful pregnancy, birth, and fourth trimester. And sometimes we experience traumatic situations. I experienced a fourth trimester very traumatic. People have traumatic birth, people had traumatic pregnancy. So I love how you can see that connection. I want you to tell us a little bit more about that, and why do you think that on cases like that, when things are not going our way, meditation can be that refugee, that little sacred place where we can actually go into and center ourselves. So I was gonna start with how you saw that practice, that addition to your day, impacting you as a mom and your relationship with your kids.
The way that I saw meditation and using meditation in the morning and how it impacted my relationship with my children was that one of the biggest things was that during the day, I would find myself fighting to find myself, if that even makes sense. But to be able to, and then if I didn't feel like I was being true to myself, I would then react to my children in a way that might not have been super friendly. I wasn't, maybe I was a little bit shorter or a little bit stricter than necessary, or someone would do something and I would snap and I would say, "Hey, stop doing that." But meditation gave me this place to set up my day. It gave me this place to see where I was going to be at the end of the day and the different beautiful things that I wanted to experience throughout the day. And when I was able to see it, I was talking to someone the other day and I was explaining that I don't believe that you can get somewhere that you don't see. So, you know how you hear in business, you always hear these people say, you have to know where your goals are so you can get there. But that's the exact same thing that we can do in our own lives. That's the exact same thing that we can do with our families and with our children. If we know what we want to happen, then we can get there. But if we don't know what we want to happen, when we do get there, we won't even notice we're there. But one of the biggest things for me was when I was younger, or what, well, yesterday I was younger, but when my kids were younger, in my meditation, I would always ask. So, meditation is this beautiful place where you can ask for things that you want, right? It's almost like this place of prayer. It's this place where you can connect with the universe and connect with yourself and connect with your children and everything and everyone around you. And yes, you can set up your day and you can see what's going to happen and you can feel wonderful things inside of you. But in my meditations, one of the things that I was continually asking for was asking for patience. And I would ask the universe, please give me patience. And like the best gift on earth, the universe gave me wonderful moments to utilize my patience. So I would be thrown into a situation with a 2-year old and a 3-year old where they were screaming and fighting and yelling at each other. And I got to practice my patience and I hated it. And I realized that instead of asking for things that I actually didn't want, I needed to ask for the result I was looking for. And this right here, when I realized, because I would wake up in the morning, whether I did meditation or not, I would say, please give me patience. Please have patience today. Please have patience today. But then when I realized that I could actually ask for the result I was looking for, I could say something like, I really want to have a fun day with my kids. And when that was what I focused on, that was what I put out there, my relationship with my children increased massively. Like it went from arguing and yelling and fighting amongst each other, which then would turn into fighting with my husband, and everybody would be upset. It turned into the most beautiful thing on earth because I could use this to set up what I wanted and I could see where we were headed and I could experience the beauty in the day at the end of it, the beauty throughout the day by going to the end of the day almost and looking back. And I think that that's one of the biggest ways that meditation has helped me reconnect with my children is being able to see them for who they are and what they need and what they want and what they appreciate and love and care about, and being able to see them and being able to see how I can connect with them. And I've been able to do that in meditation. So I think that that right there is one of the biggest keys for meditation for moms, is just being able to see the beauty in what's actually happening right in front of you. Because it's kind of hard sometimes when you have a 2 and 3 year old and they're screaming at each other or they're fighting over like who gets to put the jam in the cupboard. And to be able to see that that's actually beautiful instead of something you want to cringe over is that's beauty in itself. And I think that that's probably the best gift that meditation has given me.
Right. Thank you for asking. Thank you for sharing that. And I love what one of our audience members live is sharing us. Yvonne is saying, when we mamas are not feeling balanced with ourselves, it becomes a vicious cycle of sabotaging healthy relationships with our family members. And we agree with you completely. And that is one of the reasons why we are talking about this tool of meditation. That I love how Georgia is putting it as one of the tools, but also saying the tool for other people could be prayer, the tool for other people. So this is a very powerful tool that we're going to be going deep on it. And then we also want to encourage you to know that this is not the only tool. They are all tools. And then at the end, what we are looking for is how you as a mom to be, how you as a mama, new mama, start practicing the art, the magic of taking, like Georgia was saying before, a little bit of time just for you, just for putting your oxygen mask. And I was in a call with a group, and then somebody was sharing that, you know how they always say, put your oxygen mask first before you go into your children. Well, this person was in a fly, and then the fly got turbulence and all the oxygen mask came out. And then this person was sharing with us that they were able to see the row in front of them was a father fighting with their 7 or 8 year old two children because the children were really scared, were fighting, didn't want to have the mask. And then the perception of this person was like, I finally understand why they tell you to put your oxygen mask first. Because if that father didn't follow the instruction and put his oxygen mask first, he fight for 7 8 minutes with his children to put theirs. If he didn't have his, actually within 120 seconds he will pass out, and then his children will pass out. But because he put his oxygen mask first, he was able to battle with his children for 8 minutes until he was able to put the oxygen mask on his children too. So that is what I feel, and I think that that part of the meditation, of having that time for ourselves, is putting that oxygen mask first, so we are self full, instead of selfish, and then we don't get our our container completely empty. Gee, going forward on that, why you don't just tell me, in your opinion, what is not meditation? Because I know that a lot of moms hear about meditation and yoga, and then there is a lot of preconceptions, or a lot of like Hollywood standards of what meditation is and how you're going to do it. Why you don't just start telling me, and we're gonna chat about what meditation is not, and then what meditation is?
Meditation is not sitting there. uh, Well, meditation is really any time where you connect. And sometimes it can be, well, okay, what meditation is not. What meditation is not is it's not crystals, it's not balls of fire. This let me just say that this is what it's not to me, because there's all different opinions, and who am I to tell you strictly what it's not and what, but to me it doesn't mean you have to pull out your crystals and and sit there and practice witchcraft. Like, it's that's not what it is at all. Meditation is a time to be able to connect with yourself and to connect with the universe and to connect with all the souls on earth, which is an incredible feeling, because then all of a sudden you're not alone. Like, the battle that you have going on inside, and sometimes it feels like a battle, I'm not going to lie, but that battle that you have going on inside of this thing right here is, once you can connect with other people, you're not alone. And and meditation is about connection, I believe.
That's so beautiful, because, and I'm gonna go back into what is not, but I want to touch on this point, because one of the things that I hear most with my mamas and my groups and the groups that go through the MomFit experience is how we as mamas tend to feel very alone, at the end of pregnancy and in the fourth trimester, even in the first year of life of the baby, because we are actually all the time thinking we are the only ones experiencing what is happening. Our baby is the only one that is doing this. Sometimes we are even ashamed and feel guilty about sharing with others how we are feeling, because nobody ever taught us that it's normal to feel some ways as a mom, and that doesn't mean that you are a bad mom. That doesn't mean that you love your kid. Actually, I was in a group with a group of mamas Monday, one of my mom groups, and then one of the mamas was like almost in tears, saying like, I feel like such a bad mom because I cannot wait for Monday to come so I can send my baby to daycare. I'm so exhausted. And then we were talking about it, but things like that, we don't even talk about it, because even saying it out loud make us trigger that part of that guilt, so that make us feel even more alone, more lonely. And I love how you are putting that meditation is a tool for us to, even if we don't have the support that we need to around us to make us feel comfortable, even if we don't have the tools in the system around us, that is what every mom deserves. something as simple as meditation can help us to break that cycle of feeling alone and feeling lonely and actually go into feeling connected. Let's gonna talk a little bit more about that, please.
Well, remember a minute ago when I was saying you're going to get what you ask for? So, as a, like asking for patience, you're going to get opportunities to utilize your patience. Asking for a good day with your kids, you're going to get a good day with your kids. But this also gives you the moment to connect. And like I said, you do end up connecting with so much more um, than just the earth. You do connect with the people around you. You naturally exude this openness and you connect with other people's spirits, I believe. And you connect with their energy. Let me just put it that way. So there's energy that's out there. And when you are in your meditation and you're connecting to others, it gives you the opportunity to ask for what you are looking for, the information, even if you don't know how to put it into words. Even if, how do I work through how do I work through this issue that I'm having right here? And when you put it out there, it allows the universe the opportunity to bring in what is there waiting for you, what you're asking for. And sometimes it is connection, but sometimes it might show up in the form of a YouTube video showing up, or a Facebook post coming up, or a phone call from a friend, a tiny little note you found that one person left for somebody else on the sidewalk, but somehow you found it. There are those things. So that little idea that pops in your mind, maybe I should take my child to the Discovery Museum. And then you go to the Discovery Museum and then you meet another mom. So there are all these ways that when you open up through meditation, it opens up your acceptance and your willingness to to think in a different manner, and to look for those little bits of information that are there for you to help support you so you can grow. And I think that that's how meditation helps create connection.
I love that. I love that. And so I was gonna go back into what is not, because one of the things that happen and is normal is that people had some fear about it, because they're like, oh, some people immediately, especially some mamas, as soon as you talk about meditation, they feel about one Indian guru, lotus cross leg, like in a lotus pose, staying for hours and hours just in silence. And that could be a very intimidating and a scary thought, especially for a pregnant mom that cannot stay in the same position for more than 2 minutes because her belly is so big that she's uncomfortable all the time. So she could be like, I cannot meditate. I barely can stay in the same position for 5 minutes. Or it can be a very intimidating concept for a brand new mom that is sleep deprived, that is learning how to feed her baby every 2 3 hours, that cannot sleep more than 2 hours at a time. And then the mom can say like, I can barely shower every day. I cannot spend an hour every day just doing meditation. So how we start making that bridge, how you can share with us how these mamas that are interested in what you are saying, and they are here saying, wow, like Yvonne is sharing, meditation help her to clear her body, her mind, her spirit of toxins, of clutter, help her to purge negative clouds. So if all of the things that you and Yvonne are sharing are things that these mamas are liking and like, wow, I would love to have some of that peace, some of that clear mind, clear body, but they are having that fear, how we can make that bridge, how we can tell them that they can start where they are and how that will look like.
It's really simple. So, meditation does not need to be an hour long. The guided meditations I was doing were 20 minutes long, but they don't even have to be that long. You can do, if you're really into guided meditations where you have someone who's taking you through steps, you can find 5 minute meditations if you just have a little tiny 5 minute block. But sometimes you don't even have that. Sometimes all you have is 30 seconds. Now, my one bit of advice is don't try this while you're driving. And sometimes I understand that you might want to. And I know that that sounds weird because if you don't meditate, you'd be like, why would I ever do it while I was driving? But sometimes you're like, I just want to be in that peaceful state. Like, I just want to take my brain there. But don't do it while you're driving or at a stoplight, even because people are behind you. But just pull over. If that's what you need, pull over. That's totally fine. There's no problem with that. But what you do is you just simply close your eyes and then you breathe in and you breathe out. And instead of thinking, kid, this has to happen, this has to happen, this whole list of things, just take those thoughts and set them aside. Just for 30 seconds. That's it. Just give yourself that 30 seconds. Just say, it's okay. It's okay for 30 seconds. And that could be your meditation for the day. That could be the moment that helps you come back to here. Just be here and now. Can I look up something I wrote the other day? Um, if I can find it, I didn't think about it until just now, but I wrote this little thing. I put it in. I have like a whole meditation app or a meditation journal. So I like write meditations and it's in here. But I can find this real quick. But sometimes um,
Okay, while you look that, one of the
I
things
found
that
it. It's
okay,
hang on. So I because sometimes when you're in a moment, when you're having a moment, it is really, really, really difficult to get out of it. Like when you have so much going on and you are totally thinking about, my child and then this and all of these things. I wrote this and this made a huge difference for me personally. And I shared it with several friends and they've all said, wow. So it came to my mind. So I have to share it with you. It's just think about this right here, right now, in this exact moment. Come to this exact moment here and now. Everything is good. Feel it. Feel the good. Smile. Feel the good in right now. And if we can bring that into right now, that is where meditation helps us, is right now.
I love that because actually I love being in the United States. I love English. One of the things that I wish we had in the English language is a word that we have in Spanish. And that word is the word that we use for worry. Like when you are worried about something. In Spanish, the translation is you are preoccupied. You are occupied about something before it happened. You are preoccupied about something. So I love it because it's exactly what you are saying. When we as mamas are, especially as mamas, especially new mamas, one of the things that is happening is our brain start changing into creating new neural pathways for us to be able to take care of that little baby. So even when we are pregnant, our brain is already changing. That's why some people are like the nesting phase, and why some mamas are like, I'm waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I cannot fall asleep because I have so many things in my mind. That is normal. Is our brain saying, oh, now instead of one human, you have to care for two or three or four humans. So now you are changing. And part of what you are saying that is beautiful, that meditation is a gift for us, is when we have those 30 seconds to pay attention, 99.9% of the time, we are being preoccupied, either for things that are still coming, that we are anxious and worried about what is coming in the future, that is in the future, so it's not here, or we are still regretting and going back into things that went in the past that already happened. So they are not here anyway. So I love how you are share with us that as that in the most simple definition, meditation is not crystals, is not Indian temples, is not gurus. Meditation is the practice of allowing ourselves to come back into the right here, right now, and observe what are the things that we could be grateful for right now. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
You also don't need to, you had mentioned the lotus pose. You do not have to sit there with your hands out and your legs crossed. You can simply sit in a chair, sit in your car, in the driver's seat, passenger seat, get in the back seat, put your head back and just relax. Just breathe. Sit on the couch with your legs down or lay down on your bed. It's okay. The reason why they have all these different poses is because you can fit more people in a room if your legs are crossed and you're sitting up. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be television style. It has to be your style. And it's about connecting. It's not about proving to everybody that you can sit there for half an hour and not be in pain. It's about connection.
And I love that because you are what you are talking make me think about one thing, and that is Scrappy is the new perfect. And Yvonne, that is being
Mm.
joining us live, is also sharing that, and that it's true. Mamas constantly are thinking the what ifs about our children. We are, what if this happened? What if this happened? And when we start going into that momentum that you are saying of Scrappy is the new perfect, and we actually allow ourselves to say it's okay if I don't have the time, if I don't have the tool, the things to go into that, like you call the television style. I'm gonna do what works for me. Then that itself, in my opinion, is also a way to practice meditation, because it's that part of getting back into yourself and center yourself and say, okay, that is observing what is the judgment, what is the influence, what is my fear about what it should be. But then, like you were saying, I'm able to be right here, right now, and say, right here, right now, this is the best that I could do. And one of the things that happened to me, and I don't know if you remember that that happened to you too, but it happened with all those things that are new, like exercise, like meditation, like breathing, is we at the beginning create some resistance because we are afraid. And what happened is, as more you do it, as more you enjoy it, and as more you want to do it more. So actually, I had this rule for some time, that the rule for it was almost like 6 months. The rule was like, I'm gonna do it for 5 minutes. If at the 5 minute mark I do not want to keep meditating, I don't want to keep moving, then I showing myself grace, and I'm going to stop doing it. And what happened was that more often than not, at the 5 minutes mark, I want to keep going a little longer and a little longer. Because one of the things, and I want to hear your opinion on this, one of the things that is very powerful is everything new is uncomfortable, even when it's better than before. And that is something that we as moms should work so much into it, because what that means is uncomfortable doesn't mean that it's not better. So practices like meditation, it could be uncomfortable for you as a mama. Think, I'm gonna take 5 minutes of time. That would mean give baby to dad, or give baby to your mom, or don't do the dishes, but say, I'm gonna take some time for me. That could be uncomfortable, even when that is going to take you to be even better than what you were before. So let's gonna talk a little bit about that, and then how are other ways that moms can get into that appreciation meditation state throughout the day.
Things are uncomfortable. The interesting thing is everything is uncomfortable when it's completely brand new, but only because you're trying to figure out if you're doing it right or if there's a better way to do it. because just as humans, that's our nature, is to figure out what's the best way, what's the most effective way, how do we do this better. So just respecting who you are and just saying and just saying, I'm okay. I'm okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be here. And I just have to start. And I think that that will help with the comfort level. That will help you just kind of become more comfortable. Um, and also, the interesting thing is that meditation actually helps you get more comfortable with new things, because in meditation, you actually, the way I do meditation with the guided meditations, and I kind of live through moments before they happen. And you can do this in just a silent meditation, even if it's not a guided meditation. You can live through a moment and already experience it and learn so much and grow from it, even though it hasn't happened yet. And then when you get to that situation, it's comfortable because you've already lived through it, which is really cool. So to have that meditation space to work through whatever you're coming up to is beautiful. Um, you had also asked, what was the second question you asked? Can you?
How mama can start finding ways to do this meditation state throughout the day with what other activities? Like I know that some people say that sometimes even washing the dishes can be a time for you to get there. So why we don't talk a little bit about that?
I would caution people from walking away from that time in the morning or in the evening or even in the after, whatever time it is, that time period where you set it aside and it is yours. Because a lot of times I have seen where somebody will say something like, oh, well, I can meditate while I'm fishing. Well, you're fishing. So you're not meditating. You can get into a peaceful, relaxed state, but you're not meditating. And I'm not saying that anything's wrong with fishing by any means or washing the dishes, but what meditation does is it helps you set up. And then when you are at the dishes and you are doing the dishes, you can you can connect to that moment because that's where you are right then and there. So it can start to feel almost meditative because you are connecting to that moment. I'm bathing my child. Feel that little washcloth in your hand. Feel it. Remember to feel it. Remember to smell and really think, I am physically smelling what's happening here and now. And those are the moments throughout the day when you're able to connect back into that exact moment throughout the day. That's what takes you into those little tiny meditative states. So, those washing your baby and connecting to your baby does not take the place of your time. Make sure to still have your time, even if it's just that 30 seconds in the morning. Make sure to still have that. Don't say, I'm going to meditate and wash my baby at the same time, because you're going to get to a point where you forget about the meditative part of it. You're just going to be washing the baby. And then you've lost that moment of celebrating you and coming and connecting for you. You're forgetting the oxygen mask all over again. So you can bring up those little moments during the day if you've put on your oxygen mask first. And once again, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I just set my
I
alarm clock earlier.
no, I love it because what I hear you saying is there is a different difference between meditate and being in a meditated state, and that you can have both. And what I'm hearing you to say is the non-negotiable one is the meditation. And as the meditation become a non-negotiable, you're going to be able to ripple effect that into more and more meditative moments throughout your day, because
Yes.
you're pulling from that thing that you experience with the meditation, so you can wash your baby, nurse your baby when he's crying, handle the uncomfort with the big belly in a meditative state, in a peaceful, calm state. But that is not meditation. Did I get that right? That the difference and the connection?
That is, after meditating for 8 years, that is something that I have learned throughout the last 8 years. So yes, yeah, you don't lose that original meditation. You can shorten it, make it work for your time schedule, but don't lose it, because then those moments are lost throughout the day.
Okay. Okay. Why we don't talk a little bit, because one of the things that you comment twice already, and I want to go a little deeper, is the part of you re no, leaving things before they happen. You tell us about it, like when you want to have a good day with your kids, you frame that before it happened at the beginning of the day with the meditation. And then you say, like, I leave things before they happen. So when they happen, they're more comfortable. It's going to talk a little bit about how the process, how that works, because that is something that for all of us, that all the mamas that are new, is going to probably be a very powerful tool to use in their practice if they are starting to meditate.
Have you ever just been standing there talking to somebody and someone has said something to you so profound that it just sent like a little wave through your body? You're like, whoa, thank you. That was what I needed. That was what I was searching for. Have you experienced that?
Yeah.
So, that is really, to me, what meditation is. It's those little moments of, wow, and you'll feel it. So, inside of us, it's almost like a little ball of light. It's like a little bit of energy. And we connect, we connect to the energy from the earth. We connect to, some people, you can call it whatever you want to. So you can say, I connect, I say I connect to the universe. Some people might say, I connect to God. Some people might say, I connect to the earth. I connect to the energy that's here that we're creating just simply by moving. There's a connection that's there. And if you've had that feeling, you understand what that is. And it's really just about connecting and then opening up and allowing the energy to continue to come to you in a positive way. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question correctly, but
Yeah. So one of the things that I think that are fascinating regards what you were saying is that a couple of things. The first one is we are the only living creatures in the realm of nature that are able to use imagination. That is what you use when you are meditating and actually taking the good day with your kids, or going into, you are usually using your imagination to create that future state imagination, because it didn't happen, so you need to use your imagination. We are the only living creatures that have that. And then one fascinating thing about what you were saying that I thought about is your brain do not have the capacity to distinguish very clearly what is in your mind as imagination or thoughts and what is happening. And that is one of the reasons why when you go into a movie theater that is having a horror movie or a very sad movie, that is why you get scared when the monster come in, everybody jumps on a screen, or when the sad scene happens, then everybody cries, because our brain is not able to really say, okay, this is not real, this is not reality. And that is when I was asking you the question, is saying, that is how it's powerful to start using some of those 30-second 5 minutes to start creating the things that we want as moms. So if we are pregnant, would be a beautiful time to start actually envisioning and going through the birth that we want to have. If we are a new mom, how we are going into breastfeeding, if that we want to do. So start tapping into that centering time, into that me time, with the power of almost like tricking and hacking our brain to use that in our advantage for those situations to get more and more familiar in the reality when they come.
Yeah, being able to set up your day is absolutely phenomenal. Being able to see it beforehand is like like you said, it we all have emotions and we all have feelings, and being able to feel something when you want something to happen, to be able to feel it ahead of time. I think I for some reason this just popped into my mind, but one of the biggest things also is to be able to roll with what's actually happening in front of you. So sometimes when we do go into a meditation, or when we go into something where we are planning, it's meditation is more about feeling than it is about planning. So I would caution people to, not caution, I don't know. My thought on it would be, don't spend it planning. Don't go into a meditation and then say, I'm going to plan this. Just feel into something. So, I want to have a good day with my kids, and then feel into it. What does that feel like? As opposed to saying like, oh, we're going to get up and we're going to go here and we're going to see this person and we're going to do this and this and this, because then that's more of a planner. That's like planning what's going to happen. And then in those moments, that can become kind of tough, because then you're looking at it and you're going, my day didn't happen exactly perfect how I said it was going to. And then you can start to beat yourself up because then your meditation didn't come true. But that's planning as opposed to feeling into it. So I would, what is the result you're looking for? So going to the grocery store isn't the result you're looking for. Having a peaceful time and the fridge being full, and having a peaceful family night, is the result you're looking for. So if that means, yes, you get to the grocery store, then get to the grocery store. If that means, but then it all happens peacefully because you're asking for the result. So I just wanted to differentiate between like creating feelings as opposed to creating a to-do list in your meditation.
Yeah.
We do definitely connect with, yeah, you can definitely pre-plan things and see where you're headed, and become more comfortable with what's going on around you. Like you said, you do go into the movie theater, and people will cry, people will jump, people will laugh, because our brain does have a hard time differentiating from things. But meditation is more about connecting with the feelings than connecting with the day planner.
And I think that one of the things Yvonne is sharing with us in the audience is, it's good to have intentions, but if they don't occur, we need to get used to it, to give ourselves grace, to know that we did the best that we could. And I want to touch base on that one because I think that that is one of the most common misunderstandings and mistakes, and that is from what society is putting into what meditation is, what the power of our mind is. That is that if I'm doing the intention, everything is going to be like it happened, like you were saying. And if not, then I fail. And then how I'm starting to discover working with my moms is, yeah, it's very important that you have the intention. It's very important that you work on that. It's very important that you create the feeling of what you want for your birth, for your fourth trimester. It's very important that you do that. And also that you have plan B, C, D, E. So if for any reason the intention that you had, what you were wanting to feel, is not happening, then you don't move into a reactive state, because now you are out of ground, because the only thing that you had in your mind was, I want to feel like this, I want this to be happening. And then if that don't happen, then we start struggling with the shame and the guilt, and then struggling to have grace. But I think that the perfect balance is, like everything is a balance, is, yeah, we need the intention, we need the meditation, we need the grounding, we need to feel what we want to bring, and we also need to have the capacity and the proactiveness of saying, okay, what would be plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E? And that is what, going back to what you were saying, going back into those 30 seconds of centering, of saying, okay, right now, what is what I can take right now? What is what I'm feeling right now? And then move from there.
Yeah, I think that yes, I agree with you. Yeah, feeling into it is the key. I think feeling into your result. That would be the best way that I could put it. And and it's okay if you recognize a moment, hey, I'm not feeling the result I want. But when you're able to take a step back and go, I'm not feeling the result I want, that is really when the magic happens, because then you can go, okay, so what is the result I want? Because when you can recognize that you're not feeling it, yeah,
Okay. Then we are getting
that's
close
when it comes out.
to the end of the show. Before we leave, I want you to maybe touch very quickly into maybe two or three of the types of meditation that you think, that's my baby crying. um, Two or three of the meditation that you think that will be the easiest for a new mom or a mom to explore, because when they go to Google, they are going to find so many different options. So based on your experience, over 8 years of experience meditating, what are, like, in your opinion, the easiest ones for a brand new mama to start playing with the concept of meditation?
Honestly, go to YouTube. Just Google 5 minute meditations, 5 minute morning meditation. Or don't Google it. You don't Google on YouTube, but search it. Just search 5 minute meditation or morning meditation. If there's something that you are having a hard time with, Google that kind of meditation. So if you're feeling a little disconnected, just Google connection meditation. Also, too, this is kind of a neat idea, but I have listened and meditated to a lot of children's meditations. And there are meditations for children, but they're absolutely incredible because it almost takes you back to being a child. So if you were just to search children's meditations or meditations for children, there's lots of things. There's meditation for anxiety, there's meditation for connection, there's meditation for so many different things, and you can find it just by going to YouTube. I mean, they're beautiful. And just if you just have 5 minutes, Google 5 minute meditation, Google 1 minute, or search 1 minute meditation. It's easy. And that would be my suggestion because it's free.
Yeah, so I am grateful to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing your advice and your wisdom and everything. My baby and my nanny are here and are screaming, and it's a time to do meditation and breathe. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, Georgia. Thank you so much for sharing with us your wisdom and your love for meditation, and to show moms that no matter how they are feeling, they can always go back into 30 seconds of their life, of their who they truly are. So if tell me how they can connect with you really quickly before we close. How our mamas want to, if they want to connect with you, if they want to ask you anything about meditation, how they can find you in social media?
On social media, on Facebook, it's Georgia Vanderville. On Instagram, it's at Georgia Vanderville without any spaces. LinkedIn, Georgia Vanderville. So pretty simple. My email is, I actually own, well, you know this, but I own a candle company. It's called Shorty's Candle Company. And it's, yeah, Georgia at shortyscandles.com. That's the simplest way. And send me an email. Let me know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so
So
happy with that. Thank you. This was a lot of fun. So,
this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out www.spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it.